Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome everyone back to our Loyalty Expo speaker preview series. In this series, we'll be connecting with the presenters who will be joining us at the 2025 Loyalty Expo in Orlando, Florida, from May 20th to 22nd. Today, we're honored to be joined by one of our keynote speakers, Carl Mecklenburg. Carl is a four-time All-Pro, six-time Pro Bowler from the Denver Broncos. He actually played all 7 positions on the defensive line for a Denver Broncos team that went to 3 Super Bowls. As a Bronco fan growing up, I have deep affinity for the Denver Broncos. My wife would pose it unhealthy, and I always enjoyed, actually loved watching Carl play. His dedication and tenacity is amazing, especially coming as a 12th round pick. We don't even have 12th round picks anymore. He's a true legend of the game and someone who many think should be in the Hall of Fame. Carl is going to be sharing his insights on leadership, his transition from the NFL to the public arena, and the valuable lessons he learned along the way. Carl, thank you very much for taking time to join us today. Carl, to start us off, for those who may not be familiar with your background, can you share a brief introduction and tell us a bit about your journey, both on and off the field?
Yeah, I was not a great football player as a kid. I grew up in Minnesota. Actually, if you asked me as a youngster what my favorite sport was, I would have said hockey. I was a hockey goalie, which helped actually when they moved me from lineman to linebacker because I understood angles and could take the right angles as a linebacker and had a lot of lateral quickness, which you have to have as a hockey player. And you know, played JV as a junior in high school. Didn't even make the varsity team in football as a junior in high school. Was all state as a defensive end and a tight end as a senior, but was only 6 feet tall and 200 pounds. Not big enough to play major college football. So I went to Augustana College in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a little Division II school. Played a couple years there on a partial scholarship, which they took away after 2 years. The coach sat me down after the season and said, "We know your dad's a doctor. He can afford this school. We're going to take away your scholarship and use it to bring someone else in." So I left there and I walked on at the University of Minnesota. Um, had to sit out back then. You couldn't. There was no transfer portal. You had to sit out for a year. But I practiced, and Tony Dungy was the graduate assistant in charge of walk-ons and the Beaver team, which is what I was part of. And I learned a lot from Tony. It was a great staff there. Mike Shanahan was the offensive coordinator when I got
Wow.
there. Mike March worked in the film room. Tony Dungy, graduate assistant. I mean, unbelievable talent at
Oh,
coach.
yeah.
I learned from those guys, and my first year of eligibility there, I led the Big Ten in sacks, tied with a guy named Andre Tippett. You probably
Yeah.
remember that name. He's a
Patriots.
Hall of Fame guy. Played for New England, I believe, and yeah, got drafted in the 12th round, the 310th pick of the draft. I'm a 240 pound nose guard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they figured it out, and with great coaching, guys like Merle Moore, Stan Jones was the defensive line coach, and Joe Collier was the defensive coordinator, and they put their heads together and decided to use me in a way nobody's ever been used in the NFL. I played all 7 front positions. They moved me around all the time wherever they thought the ball was going. Whenever they thought there was a matchup issue with the other team, they could move me over there. And what a great opportunity for a player to be that guy that they're putting where the action is. I mean, and I'm not the fastest guy in the world. That's why I'm the 310th pick of the draft, right? But if they're coming at me, I'll take care of it. So it was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed my time there, and three Super Bowl appearances, 6 Pro Bowl appearances. Had a long, fun, just unbelievable career, and it was a blast. I love what I do now, though. Getting out and speaking for folks and trying to make
Yeah.
a difference in their lives is every bit as enjoyable in my mind. I get to perform, and I never get hurt, so it works out good.
Excellent. And how do you make the transition from a professional football career into public speaking? What inspired you to take that path?
Yeah. it was a it took a while to make the transition. I always had a place to be and a job to do, and time to go to bed, and all that stuff when I was playing football, and all of a sudden that's over. So everybody kind of waffles around a little bit at that point. But for me, I got an opportunity to speak, and really the pattern of it is so similar to football. I just fell right into it. Having that, prepare for the next client, perform at a high level for a short period of time, evaluate what went on, throw out what didn't go well, repeat what did go well, get ready for the next one. It's football, just like I said, without the injuries. And it is fun. I get to travel all around the country. I get to meet all kinds of people, and that's a big part of what I do. If you're at the conference, don't be afraid to come up, have me sign something, pose for a photo, whatever you want. Ask me questions. I'm up for that. That's a big part of what I do, and it really helps me as far as speaking too, because I get to talk to, usually there's a point person with a group that I'm speaking for, and I get that person's opinion and that person's issues and that challenge. Uh, but I don't get a real wide view a lot of times. So to have that opportunity to develop that wide view before I actually get up and speak is very valuable to me.
How do you personally define success? And when faced with obstacles, what strategies or mindsets help you push forward and stay focused?
Yeah, for me, success is overcoming obstacles. That's what it is. If you're not running into obstacles, you're not pushing hard enough. You should run into obstacles. And I think a lot of people uh, kind of bounce off of obstacles instead of finding a way through them or around them. That's one thing that I learned from football. There's going to be failure. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be issues, and for me, it's all about finding a way through those challenges. One of the great things about coming to a conference like yours is that um, there are other people going through the same challenges. There's somebody at that meeting right now who's already solved that problem. you, find them, talk to them,
Yeah,
work
that's
it out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. The value that people get out of these conferences, because you come in with a question or two, and you can go home with 5 6 answers, and that's what's great about it. I want to be one of those answers. I talk about teamwork, with leadership being the ultimate expression of teamwork. Courage, the courage to try new things, the courage to be decisive. A dedication, which I describe as hard work, constant learning, refusing to quit. Desire, that's the overriding dream, passion, mission. Honesty and forgiveness with yourself, and self-evaluation and with others. And finally, goal setting, kind of reasonable, short-term, specific steps that get you to those desires. Everything's story based. We'll have a lot of fun with it, have some humor, but there's a point to everything I'm talking about.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your philosophy of the 4 C's of leadership? What inspired you to develop this framework?
Yeah. First of all, it's all about clarity and consistency. Um, People need that from their leaders. As soon as you drift away from what you've established as, this is who I am, this is who we are, this is the direction we're going. That consistency piece and the clarity piece of it is just vital. Then it goes on. The key cornerstones of what your organization stands for. The cornerstones, for us, under Edgar Kaiser, it was making money. Under Pat Bolin, it was winning championships and serving Bronco country. It was clear, it was consistent. If you fit within that framework and were supportive to that, he'd do anything he could for you. I mean, he was unbelievable with us and with the fans, with the community, but it was all about everybody heading in the same direction. Um, our commitment as signing on as a Bronco was clear, and it was consistent. It was we're here to win each game. And even if it's the end of the season and we're not going to the playoffs, and it didn't happen very often, but it did a couple of times. even if we're in that situation, I was playing, Elway was playing, we were all playing. We're preparing to win each game, and he understood that having that consistent character, that consistent uh, drive for the team was more valuable than moving up a couple of steps in the draft, and that's how we approached it, and there was no question. Every game we were there to win it, and finally connection, the clarity and consistency of your connection with your people. There are people in your organization right now who are out of position. They're 240-pound nose guards, right? The job was available, so they took it, but they could help your team more somewhere else. And that's what Pat's organization would do, is that they would find out what you were best at. That's what Joe Collier would do. He'd try in different positions, move you around, do some things, and all of a sudden you've got guys who you don't expect to do anything. A 12th round draft choice, 20 guys away from Mr. Irrelevant, and I'm the defensive captain and making plays all over the field. And it's not me as much as it is the leadership, being able to identify what people are capable of and putting them in positions to be successful.
Of the four C's, are there two that stand out as the most impactful or personally meaningful to you? And how should they be important to others?
Yeah, I think the main thing is clarity and consistency of your cornerstones. This is who we are. This is the direction we're moving. This is and it's got to go down through the whole organization, right? You got to have leadership at each level that understands those concepts of who you are. And if it is customer service, and if you're at the top saying it's customer service, but the people down the line aren't saying it's customer service, it's not going to work. So it's got to penetrate the whole organization. With the Broncos, Pat was amazing that way, especially the connection piece. I would see him like talking to the janitor, about the janitor's kid. I mean, it was like just he was so connected across all levels of that organization, and if you can do that, and really push that cornerstone of who you are, and it's the old Nike just do it thing, right? That it's a big picture thing, but if it boils down through the whole organization, you can have great success.
In your view, who would benefit most from attending your sessions at the conference?
Yeah, Mark, I'm not an industry expert. Don't pretend to be, unless you want to learn how to pass rush. I can probably show you a few things. But I do know how to work as a team and work with people. So if you have people in charge of teams, that's my deal. So again, one of the foundations and cornerstones of the National Speakers Association is identify what your niche is, and go deep in that niche, and then expand from there and speak outside of that niche. Well, that's to develop name recognition. I already had name recognition when I came into this thing, so I speak in all kinds of industries, all kinds of groups. I talk about those keys to success, and about leadership, and it applies. It's people dealing with people, right? And ultimately, those are your problems more often than not. Are people problems, and if you're talking about customer service, that's 95% of it. Obviously, if you can't get your product in the door, then that's a problem. But generally, that's a people problem too.
Well, thank you very much, Carl, for taking the time to speak with us today. It's a pleasure to meet you. As a big Bronco fan, looking forward to meeting you personally. And your story is quite compelling, and I'm sure others are going to take a great deal from it. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in May.
I appreciate it, Mark. This is going to be fun.
Should be fun.